Well, I don't want this. This is Bud Light Seltzer. That's lemon lime. No. Can I have a real beer? Jesus Christ, woman. Hail, salutations, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the G.N.A. podcast. Games, nerds, and alcohol? Hello? Is anyone there? I'm all alone. I'm all by myself. It's just me, the voices in my head, and this stack of penthouse form letters. No, I'm kidding, folks. There are no penthouse form letters, but I am here. I am your host, Blue Shark 45, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am all by myself. I'd go on, but, we get in trouble for copyright stuff. Man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm back. I'm here. I'm somewhat moved in. Moved in with fiance this past weekend, and it is going great. We're slowly turning this place into a home, and I am feeling great. Thank you for asking. I am a little annoyed. Still working from home. It's got its ups, it's got its downs. It was fun in the beginning, but now it's getting kind of annoying. And I don't know why that we're still working from home. I mean, this is all just some freaking conspiracy crap invented by the freaking parties and such of this. This has all just been one big conspiracy theory just created by some.
Yes, good evening. As you know, the G.N.A. podcast is a strictly non-political show. Every now and then we will skirt the line and come dangerously close, but Blue Shark was going very far outside the line. So please accept my dearest apologies, and let's continue on with the regularly scheduled show.
And that's why I think that we should just go ahead and... Wait. Did you just edit me out? Son of a bitch! Damn it, Cecil. Not even here on the show, and you are already editing me out. Well, anyway, folks, this is the G.N.A. podcast. Games, nerds, and alcohol. Where, as I mentioned hesitantly earlier, as I realized that no one else is in the room with me, that we talk about gaming, nerd-related subjects, and alcohol. So let's go ahead and get started with what am I drinking? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I finished off all my beer. Congratulations to me. Finished it off. I have a bottle of Hennessy, little tiny, hip size one that I got for my birthday. I had that a while ago. Opened it up Christmas time. I need to finish that off here shortly because as we're going into one of our subjects later, we're going to talk about the expiration or the optimal time to consume certain amounts of alcohol, to optimal time within. Anyway, I decided to, even though I still have half of a jar of blackberry moonshine and probably about a third of a jar left of the apple pie shine, as well as a bottle of Bacardi Superior, I decided to go ahead and get something light, reasonable. So I have these truly hard seltzers, which are flavored hard seltzers, 5% alcohol. They run off of the pitch of being low in calories, low in sugar, low in carbs, and in some cases gluten-free. So this one here is 100 calories, 1 gram of sugars, 2 grams of carbs, and is gluten-free for those of you who like that kind of stuff. It is 5% alcohol. You drink enough of these things, and they're easy to drink. It starts to hit. So this is truly with a hint of mango. I've had the passion fruit one. This is part of their tropical 12-pack that they sell. And it's very light. It has a nice fizzy taste. It's a seltzer. Very explicit mango taste. Kind of like not like eating a mango. I'd have to say it's imitation of mango. It's more like mango juice. A lot of fruit cocktails that you have that have a mango taste. It's got that artificial kind of taste. It doesn't have that strong, explicit fresh fruit taste that you get like when you consume a mango, a fresh mango, or juice it for that matter. Kind of like, I guess what you could say, you could get like a sherbet mango. That's what it would taste like if you've ever had that. Like some places use like frozen mango concentrates, like a sherbet kind of thing. They use that in a lot of like smoothies, places that don't use fresh fruit and such. That's what it kind of tastes like. It's not bad. It's good, a little sweet, got that alcohol going for it, and it's easy. Comes in a nice, what do you call these things? Tall boy cans? No, not tall boy cans. I'm not sure what to call these things, but I would say that this is like, it's like a Red Bull can. So it's only 12 fluid ounces, not bad. I am going to try to drink during the show, finish this mango one off, but I also have their pineapple, which I haven't tried yet. Passion fruit so far is my favorite. Mango's not bad. And then they have a watermelon and kiwi. I am not a watermelon artificial fan. I'm not a huge watermelon fan. I'm not a huge melon fan, except for Tata. Love them Tatas. But anyway, getting back on topic. So it's a nice, light, airy drink. If you're watching your calories and you're tired of Michelob Ultra or any of those ultra light beers, which I never would really suggest, it's not a bad place to start. And if you don't like beer, I recommend this. If you're watching calories, this is a good place. My fiance loves them. She doesn't like beer, but she enjoys these. And White Claw is another one that makes stuff. They're good. Truly, first time I ever had Truly. It's good stuff. Ooh, that fizz went down the wrong pipe there for a second. But anyway, let's move into State of Games. Oh, shit. Yeah. I've been busy, folks. I've been packing. I've been moving. Since the last time there was a podcast last Friday. Ugh. Yep. I've been packing. I've been packing and unpacking and trying to deal with other stuff, getting, things moved in, places set up. So I haven't done any gaming except for Pokemon Go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have been playing Pokemon Go. And since I've moved to a older, well-established neighborhood near a major thoroughfare, before when I lived when I was renting for my folks, they were in a newer neighborhood. There wasn't a lot of Pokemon around, but I was liking the fact that my buddy was starting to go out and get me like gifts for me, and then gifts to give out to my friends, like going out randomly picking up. I love that update for this staying at home, this COVID-19 crap. It's perfect. And what I've been enjoying is that they've also been picking me up research tasks, so I don't have to spend Pokestops because I'm not going out and doing that a lot. And then when I do go out, I completely forget to look for them. And so I've been playing that. I'm enjoying it. It's good. It's getting me that itch to really just pick up Pokemon Sword again and get back into it and finish that game. But it's just like finding the time amongst all the other things that I have to do, folks. Literally, I have a busy schedule. Work, I work out, and then it's dinner, and then shower, clean up, and and then something seems to keep coming up. I've been trying to unpack for the last several days, and I really haven't much success with it. So that's my state of games. It's kind of weak. It's not the best, but it's here. Interesting, folks. We have someone's in the audience, and they look like they want to join in. Oh my God, could it be Cecil Xavier?
Woohoo!
Welcome, Cecil. How you doing, bud?
I quite possibly have had the most intense day that I have had for a very long time. So I saw you sitting in here all alone by yourself.
All by myself.
Oh my God, are you actually drinking a Truly?
I am. I've had White Claw, and I decided to. You actually came in. I just finished my pathetic state of games, and I can see you're already disappointed in with me because of my drink choice. But I decided to try the tropical pack. So this is my first time having them. Not bad.
And that's your fifth one, right?
No, this is my second one. I had 2 Yinglings earlier during a work happy hour, and then I got into the passion fruit one. So far, my favorite. This is my second one. It's the mango, and I have here, I was planning on getting through in the show, a watermelon kiwi. Not a watermelon fan, but we'll see how that one goes, and a pineapple.
All right. Well, now that you've been describing your bitch beer, I want you to tell the crew. I want you to tell the whole crew, the whole people listening. I want you to tell them what a man's drink is and what I'm drinking right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Cecil Xavier is drinking the infamous, always mentioned on this show every 10 episodes at least, the Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA. I do have a bottle of that, actually, but we're not opening that until November.
God, this put hairs on your hairs. Actually, this is one I've had aging in the fridge since Christmas, and I'm actually surprised. I was expecting it to be a little less sweet, but it's still incredibly sweet, and there is a little bit more bitter to it now, though. I'm happy about that, because I never find these 120s. Supposedly they're supposed to be like the peak of bitterness, but I never find them bitter whatsoever. But I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised now that this guy's been aging for a little bit, that there is a distinct bitter on the aftertaste. The attack is still incredibly sweet.
So I'm a little concerned, and we'll go into the show about why I'm concerned about my caring for that one bottle that I have of the Dogfish 120. I've had it in a paper bag. It has been sitting in a dark place. It was bought at room temperature, and it has been staying at room temperature.
Good call.
I'm hoping that's still a good call. But after I read this article, I've been a little concerned.
Uh-oh.
That I haven't been refrigerating it. But we'll see.
So the urban legend that I hear that Damok always likes to quote to me is that as long as you haven't been switching its temperatures, i.e. it's been cold, it's been warm, it's been cold, it's been warm, as long as you keep it at a constant temperature, you're lock, stock, ready to rock.
Well, hopefully that's true. Otherwise, my experience the first time having this may not be the best. But we'll find out in November.
I've actually had Skunked 120, and even Skunked 120 is not bad.
That gives me hope.
Well,
even though cracking open this can doesn't give you any hope for me.
No, that actually makes me weep for your soul.
I know.
Like, I'm literally, like, I see you taking a sip of that Truly, and I see that Truly written along the side of that can.
Yeah, it's explicit there.
And my heart drops like my testicles did when I was 8. It just sinks right down. And, I mean, it definitely doesn't feel nearly as good, but it certainly is sinking. And Damok, man, God, those Trulies are killing me. I gotta try them, though. You know what? I'm giving them so much shit, and I haven't tried
Yes. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, it's if you want to do the whole like gluten-free, low carbs, low sugar, low calorie thing, I find this a hell of a lot better than any light beer. Light beer is Bud Light, Michelob Ultra. Oh, who makes the other one?
If you say Miller, I swear to God, I'm going to drive down there and punch you.
That's the other one.
Oh.
I've never actually had Miller. I've had Michelob and I've had Bud Light.
I've told you my Miller High Life story.
Yes, you have. And yeah, I don't like this stuff. But anyway, these are better.
Well, I got to try them.
They're not beer. I like sparkling water. It's good for. I like that. So I'm acclimated to sparkling water, and it's kind of taste. This is a little bit sweeter because they actually have, it's actually got sugars and carbs in it. Alcohol has that crap, so they're not bad. The pineapple is a little more on point with actual pineapple juice. The mango, as I was saying before, has more of that sherbet artificial taste to it. It doesn't taste like a real mango.
So I don't mind, like, I drink a lot of beer on this show, and I drink a lot of liquor on this show, but I am not limited to that. I actually will find myself enjoying like a malt beverage, and that's why I'm interested in trying those Trulies, or the White Claws or whatever it is. I'm interested in trying them because I like Smirnoff Ice. I like the flavored Smirnoff ones. On occasion, it's not like when I was 15 and it's like, oh, hey, we can get a case of these, we can get 30 of these and get wrecked. And there I am with like 30 bottles around me going, when do I get wrecked?
Yeah. We had this when I played, you remember this because it's annoying because it always affected our recording time, but when I played kickball and volleyball in Jacksonville, yeah, so they had the coach would bring out his Yeti cooler, big son of a bitch, and it'd be filled with Michelob or Miller, I don't remember what, and he'd throw a few other random beers in there, but he would also throw in Smirnoff Ices, and he'd just randomly put them there, and there's all this ice in there. If you dug and you pulled, or you saw it, you had no choice. You had to grab it, open it, take a knee, and chug the whole thing. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Take a knee, chug the damn thing. Or if someone came up to you and go like this, then you had no choice but to chug it.
I like these rules. I like these rules already.
Yeah, and his philosophy was the only way to enjoy those was to just take it. But let's move into...
Hold on. Before we move into anything,
okay.
I got to make reference, man. That background does not look like the office that you were occupying before. That looks like a very bare, Spartan, with a vent over top of the door background.
It is. This is the new office. I don't know if you can tell how yellow it is. Not by the walls, but the light itself. And it's some special light bulb. I lost it today. I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I've been sitting in this room for 5 days, and I just can't handle this yellow light anymore. Like, I opened the blinds a little bit to let some natural light in to kind of like whitewash it. And I was like, I'm going to call Brittany. Brittany's going to Target. I'm going to get Brittany to get some light bulbs. It's off the list. I unscrewed it. It's some specialty halogen socket bulb crap, and I'm just like, forget it. I'm not dealing with this. So that's the only thing I got against this. That, and it gets a little warm in here during the day. But this is the townhome. This is the office room or one of the smaller bedrooms. The other side is another bedroom. The original tenants had this set up as an office, so I decided to take it over as one. And plus, they have an Ethernet cable that runs through the wall, I think from the closet, goes over the washing machine, goes into the master closet, and hooks into the network device, the gateway.
Nice.
So I have the cable here, and it's plugged directly in, so I get the hard line. I do get really good internet speed up here. I am paying for gig, and in Wi-Fi I get around 6 megabytes. When I go downstairs, it drops to more like 90, 80, sometimes 100. And
back up. So you pay for a gig and you get 9 megabits per second?
90 to 100.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah, on Wi-Fi, I get 90 to 100 downstairs. That's because the network access is only in the closet. So it's going through a bunch of walls, going through the floor to get to the living room. So it's a little slow. Up here in the office, I get around 600 on Wi-Fi, but I hardwire in and I get roughly about the gig.
Well, we know who's going to be hosting from now on.
Yeah.
All gaming coming from your house.
Yeah, it's, and guess what? There are no data.
Beautiful.
Yes.
You're going to be downloading so much porn.
I would if, Pornhub still had that 30-day thing, but now that they got rid of it,
Yeah, you don't need it to be free premium. There's so many different... Anyways, now we're going to digress into a real rabbit hole there. I'm just going to sit here and... Actually, wait a minute. Do I get to say my state of games?
Yeah, you need to, because my state of games was pathetic. I've been so busy, I haven't played any games. So what is your state of games there, Cecil?
I have been playing actually a little bit more. I've actually been sneaking in a little time this week because I've been kind of stressed. So I've been hammering onto schoolwork. I've got a new job, so I've been really, really stressed out. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a little time, and I've been taking about 30 minutes to an hour a night just to play games. I've actually cut out the TV time that I was doing, and I'm just using that time to play some video games and unwind. So I've been playing a bit of Call of Duty Modern Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, which is part of Modern Warfare, but blah blah blah. Anyway, been playing a little bit of that. Actually got my first win on that finally. Was fun. Was under
congrats.
We were doing quads, and Zyber was there. And Zyber, I gotta reference this because, man, Zyber really contributed because he put in a whopping 68 damage in that match. It was amazing.
Oh, so you weren't working quads. You were playing.
Oh no, I was working quad. I was actually doing, like, while I was playing, I was doing this. So I was sitting here doing this the whole time.
Cecil's air squatting right now.
I am. I actually just got molested by my chair because that first squat I wasn't actually gauging where the arm of the chair was, and I gotta say I think I need to see the therapist and tell him where I point on the doll where the bad chair touched me. But I also have, I've not only been playing that, I've also jumped in. Humble Bundle they may still have the bundle by the time this goes out, but Humble Bundle had a great bundle of old Sierra games. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I grew up on the Sierra games, on Space Quest, King's Quest, Quest for Glory, all those games, Phantasmagoria, The Beast Within, all of those. I grew up in those games, and Humble Bundle has got a great bundle that encompasses the King's Quest collection, Space Quest collection, Quest for Glory collection, the Phantasmagorias 1 and 2, and a whole bunch more from Sierra. And I know I know it sounds like I'm trying to pump up and sell Humble Bundle. No, this is worth getting it. If you like, man, if you just like that cheeky humor, Sierra Games has it in spades. Quest for Glory was probably the first game that I can cognitively remember playing that had a persistent character throughout all of it. Meaning that when I say persistent character, I mean whatever you played in the first game, your stats translated to the second game. Your stats at the end of the second game translated to the third game. Like Mass Effect uses. Well, Mass Effect stole the idea from games before it. This set was one of those games before it. So I've been playing a bit of Quest for Glory, laughing at, God, just things like Baba Yaga and her birdhouse being in several of the games. You know, just the silly puzzles that you had to try to make your way past. Just, God, it's just a fun set of games. And I can't wait to jump back into King's Quest 2. That's going to be a blast. And, go ahead. Shoot.
So for those of you who don't know, Baba Yaga is a witch. If you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, Baba Yaga was the little tiny witch that would float around on the crystal orb. And it's some folklore thing. It's actually, no, Slavic. Interesting. Russian. I would have thought that would have been Japanese.
No, Baba Yaga is Russian. Yeah. Baba Yaga is an old folk tale. I'm trying to remember. I think she was something like she would grant you a wish, but she would always turn things around on you or something like that. But the thing that I remember distinctly is that in some of the tales, she would live in a house that was like on stilts or something, and then people manifested that into being chicken legs. So in the Quest for Glory games, her house has chicken legs. And nice. You've got to, the house is literally alive, and you've got to entice the house to come down and squat so it will let you in. If you've never played Quest for Glory, the graphics are a bit rough. It's a point and click adventure, so be prepared for that. It's not action based. It's puzzles, but it's got RPG elements to it. Super, super fun game. And actually, a little piece of trivia: there's 5 games in the series. The first game is Quest for Glory, so you want to be a hero. The second game was Trial by Fire. The third game was supposed to be The Shadows of Darkness. However, and even at the end of the second game, when you beat it, it says next game, Shadows of Darkness. But they didn't feel that the hero had matured enough, so they actually inserted a third game in there between Trial by Fire and Shadows of Darkness. And the third game was just basically like, it was solely on the hero's character development. That's all the third game was. But it's really cool because each of the games takes place in a different area. Like, the first game takes place in more of a Germanic atmosphere or environment. The second game takes place in more of like an Arabian, like think of Alibaba and 1,000 Thieves kind of. The third installment takes place in like an African style, like a Pelt or an African tribe style environment. The fourth one actually takes place in like a Transylvanian style environment. It's really just cool how they all shift to this different area and they take all the different lore. You know what it reminds me of? Oh crap. What's that show? What's that show where they like retell all
Once Upon a Time?
Yes, where they retell all of the stories but in a different way. That's kind of like this. So when you're in the Arabian style area, you know, there's a lot of like the whirling dervish. I forget what the tree is called, but it's the living tree, not the tree of life, but the actual woman that was turned into a tree. It's really, really cool. Just if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. And the last thing that I've been playing, since I'm already taking up way too much time here, I have actually been playing a little game of life, like actual life, of turning my green thumbs on. I've got my pepper plants growing. I actually have about half a dozen sweet pepper plants that I've germinated. They're all about 2 to 3 inches tall right now. I got some pallets in the back. I'm going to make some pallet gardens, and I am germinating 5 more Carolina Reaper seeds. I already have 3 Carolina Reaper plants. I'm germinating 5 more seeds, so I'm going to have a total of 8 Carolina Reaper plants. And anybody who's listening to this show happens to remember last year where I made a G.N.A. hot sauce. Well, guess what? It's coming back again at the end of summer. Only this time I'm going to have 2 different styles. One's going to be G.N.A. hot sauce. The second one's going to be G.N.A. hot sauce especial. And it's going to have a little thing of skull and crossbones on it. And then another picture of a butt on fire. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Isn't it one of those plants where it only gets better with the second harvest?
I don't know. I know that the ghost pepper plants, the second and third harvest that I got, they were much hotter than the first harvest.
Okay.
I don't know if Reaper plants are the same way. I don't even honestly know if Reaper plants will survive over the winter when I bring the 3 potted plants inside. But I'm hoping to find out.
Well, you may want to talk to those guys who do this thing where they got like grow lamps and, you know, indoor lantern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I got. I got indoor lighting.
So you can perfect your pepper grow house.
Well, the inevitable thing I want to do is I want to set up outside I got a concrete block outside. I want to set up a small greenhouse, but I want to set up a hydroponics bay in it so that I can keep things going throughout the year. Because even if I set up the greenhouse, even in the winter, because it doesn't get cold here, it just doesn't. Even in the winter, it will stay very toasty in there, and those plants will stay alive.
Well, you're in a good state for that because you don't want too hot. So in too hot, you have to vent the house during the summer. I think where you're at, you may not have to worry about venting too much. I know it does get hot there sometimes.
I'll have to throw a fan in. That's about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could jerry rig something simple with just for the winter. Well, I don't know if I'd go cheap with plexiglass. I'd probably try to get real glass panes, and then I'd just use silicone caulk to just box it together. And then you're going to have to get a glass cutter for the summer to cut the hole for the fan to vent. But, you know, you could do that if you want to do something quick and dirty.
Too easy. Yeah. I've got some ideas. I'm going to see what what I could put together with some PVC pipe and some greenhouse plastic, and just see how it goes over the summer. And if it maintains really well, I think I'll leave at least one of the pallet gardens in there and see if it stays over the winter, and then go from there. But I mean, either way, I've got plenty of plants. I'm actually surprisingly really good at germinating these damn seeds now. Because I've got this trick I use with a Ziploc bag and a paper towel, and I literally just wet the paper towel, put the seeds in between it, put the bag in there, and then I blow like my breath into it to keep it keep a level of carbon dioxide higher in it. And then I set it up either on a window, or I've actually got one set up on top of the dryer so that it keeps a lot of heat to it, and it's really been working well. I actually did a silly thing. I did some sweet peppers, and I put about, I don't know, a dozen-ish, maybe a dozen and a half seeds in there, and every single one of them sprouted. And I went, oh crap, I only have enough for about half a dozen to maybe a dozen pods. So I literally murdered a whole bunch of plant babies.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm probably going to hell for that. Yeah, they'll be sitting there waiting at hell's door, and they'll be like, all right, you know why you're coming in? And I'll be like, yeah, killed all those plant babies. I'm like, yep, that was it.
Had you eaten them, you might have been sitting on the toilet for a while.
You think so, from the sprouts?
Some sprouts aren't good. You can get, what was it? I remember I used to get the living sprouts to put on Jimmy John's. This podcast is not supported by, nor does it receive any funding or marketing from Jimmy John's.
Yet.
Yet. But I used to get that on the sandwiches, and there was this whole thing, and what was it, 2012, 2013, where it was like salmonella with the living sprouts. Because it was something about like, it's the sprouts need, they don't need cold, but they don't need the right pasteurization heat kind of temperatures. They go somewhere in the middle with like a lukewarm, and that's apparently was something that was like prime temperature for these the salmonella to grow. And so people stopped buying them like Jimmy John's to put into the sandwiches because it was getting people sick. That, or it was the production side that was getting them to the sandwich shops, and so you couldn't get living sprouts on sandwiches anymore, because it used to be a thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I loved them. They were great, but yeah, there was some whole you're gonna get sick kind of thing. But thank you for that, Cecil. That made my state of game. My state of games was horrible. But
I'm here for you, buddy. I'm here for you.
Yeah, saving the show. So we're going to go into a article about alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. This came from Zyberblood, I believe. Shoot. I'm still getting used to this. So with this whole working from home thing, we have laptops, and we get dual monitors at work. And we have a God, I can't remember the name of it because I looked up the price of one now. But it basically, you plug your laptop into it, and it'll split the signal.
It's either a port replicator or a docking station.
Docking station, that's what it is. Thank you, sir. So we have the docking station, and I have the docking station here. Well, when I was staying with my folks, we had one desk for the computer for them that they used, and then I had another little rickety desk that they let me use. And that's where I had the podcast set up, my laptop, my monitor, my setup. Well, when I had to start working from home, we started putting my workstation on the other desk instead of the rickety one, because I needed more room than the rickety one could provide. But now that I'm here, I only have one desk. So my monitor's in this corner, and my dual monitors from work are set up here, and I decided to try out the docking station a couple weeks ago on my laptop. It works, it just doesn't charge, but I now have a 3-monitor setup. So I have the 2 work monitors, and then I have the screen right in front of me, so you can see my face a lot better instead of it being like over here where you're like, Blue, I can't see your face, the microphone's blocking it. But so I'm getting used to the mouse moving across these screens. So anyway, long story short, we have an article that came from Zyberblood. Yes, no, maybe so. Where is this coming from? I am.
Are you talking?
Failing.
Are you talking about the does booze go bad?
Yes, that is from Zyber.
Yeah,
all right.
I think we touched on that actually last episode, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh, damn it. I didn't see the 27th on that. So I never followed these except for beer.
Yeah, like beer.
Beer was the...
Yeah, beer I always said, that's got to go bad.
Unless it comes in a can, can, no light, and it's filled up high enough that there's not a lot of oxygen in there. So the what kills it is the light. So this is the reason why when you buy Samuel Adams, you get these high cardboard sidings compared to like everyone else who's got like the neck and part of the body exposed. Like Samuel Adams takes it all the way up as high as possible, is to keep the light from getting in there and skunking up the beer. Bottles also have more oxygen in them at the top and the neck than you would ever get in a can. So cans are great for sealing it in, keeping the light out, and as long as you do that temperature constant thing, like you're not like heating it up, cooling down, heating it up, cooling down, heating it up over and over and over again, it's going to stay nice. So beer was the only one that I didn't do this with. I never really had my liquor bottles out in the sun, so I never really had to worry about this, but I can see how wine, to me, wine's a different category. So corked up, sealed, you're good. Red wine, I don't care if it's been in the refrigerator for a month or 2 weeks. It starts to go vinegar as far as I'm concerned with the taste. Red wine. White wine, I've been able to last for 2 months before I start noticing a subtle change. So I think his idea on just wine in general is just a generalization of it. He doesn't really separate white and red too much. I mean, he talks more about like sherries and stuff like that, but I mean, like red wine starts to turn to vinegar.
See, now wine I've always put in the same kind of boat as beer, and I don't know why. I've always done it.
Green bottle.
Maybe
bottle,
maybe that's
light.
why. But I've always put wine in that same kind of category, like keep it at a light. The only thing that I do with wine instead of beer is that I will store wine on its side. I don't store beer on its side. I always store beer upright, but wine I always store on its side.
Because the cork, you have to keep that thing hydrated, or else it starts to create pockets, and then the air gets in, and you have a whole bunch of problems.
Well, actually, then the cork starts to deteriorate, and that drops into the wine and ruins the wine.
Yeah, that too, but you're also going to get the intrusion. You don't want any of that from the air.
I like to keep that cork nice and moist.
Yes.
I had to get that word in. You know I did.
Yes. Vodka, so this is how you make vodka last. All right. You go to the store and you get charred vanilla beans, and you stick them in the bottle of vodka, and you let that age for a month to 2 months, and then it turns into vanilla extract, and then you use that in baking. People don't drink vodka. Vodka's horrible, in my opinion.
I hate your life. I love vodka.
It's rubbing alcohol.
Oh my
I'm
God,
sorry.
you haven't had good vodka, man.
I guess not. There is. I will say this. The part of the reason why I'm trying to clear out the liquor cabinet is because I keep buying too much and not finishing it off, and 2, I want to finish this stuff off, and I want to buy something. I'm probably going to buy a bottle of tequila, and according to this thing, I should finish that thing up within the first 2 months, which it's reasonable. But
if you go for tequila,
I want to buy
get mezcal.
Mezcal.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I'll try. Are we talking silver? Are we talking aged?
No. It's a specific style. It's called mezcal. So with normal tequila, they'll take the cactus, they'll take the agave fruit, and they'll ferment it and they'll distill it, and then they'll add things to it that make it give it a little bit of that smoky flavor. With mezcal, they actually take the whole thing, and they smoke it. Like, they smoke the whole thing before they ferment it, and then they ferment it. They ferment that smoked fruit. And it's a different taste. It's almost like scotch.
Mezcal.
If you know what? If I can, I'm coming down in November. I will bring a bottle with me. The only trick is, though, is that you got to drink the scorpion at the bottom of the bottle.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not getting so shit-faced that I can't move around in my own wedding.
Yeah, you keep thinking that. Okay, you keep thinking that.
Yeah, I do have to meet some family members for the first time in either A, one a long time, or B, meet some of her family members for the first time ever.
That's all right. You don't need to remember it.
Oh, God.
We'll film it.
Right.
You can watch it later.
Oh, yeah. But I want to get this Polish vodka. I've talked about it. It's bison. They use bison grass in it. Zergavia Brokoff. I'm screwing it up. But, it was the autobiography on Chris Kyle, American Sniper, the movie's based off of. He talked about it in there, and then the way he described the flavor and the taste and stuff, I was like, okay. Like, I never got that from any vodka I've ever had before, so, let's see. I'm willing to try it, so I'm going to look into it. I'm trying to clear out the liquor cabinet for that. But, yeah, so rum I've had for more than 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the stuff that you gave me for my birthday, the Pirate, that stretched out for 6 months. The Presidente, the one that came in that leather bag, the anniversary one, Pompero Reservo, something like that. That one lasted for about a year. I never really saw a loss in flavor. That stuff still tasted fucking great. But maybe it's because it was in a leather bag. And no sun touched that shit. Silver rum, yeah, I've had it go on for more than 3 months. Bourbon, yes, I have let bourbon stretch out for years. I've had a bottle of scotch that, the Blue Label, Johnny Walker. I had that last over, 2 years maybe, until I finally finished it off.
I've had bottles of scotch that I literally have left sitting for probably the better part of a decade.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking here with whiskey. It's oxidation. If you have half the bottle left or less, you should drink it within a year. Less than the quarter bottle, 3 to 4 months. It's a matter of how much oxygen's in the bottle.
However, I have for a very long time, they make these bottle suction thingies where you can actually suck the air out of the bottle. They're a little pump, and the motion I'm doing right now does not look very good, especially if you're seeing it. It's you definitely think I'm doing something different, but literally you hold the bottle and you pump the air out of it. It was meant for like wine bottles and shit like that, but
yes. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are seeing that motion right now, please, for the love of God, stop the podcast and dial 911. You should not be able to see this on an audio podcast.
Accurate. But if maybe you have a great imagination and you can see in your mind's eye what I'm doing, if you can see in that mind's eye exactly what I'm doing, you are a sick SOB. Like, seriously sick.
Or you're high as all get out and tripping on some psychedelic.
That works too.
Yeah. So, just pop the top on the Truly Hard Seltzer Watermelon and Kiwi. I taste the kiwi, but the watermelon is that artificial Jolly Rancher watermelon candy taste.
Oh, sucky.
No, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Regular watermelon, like I said before, it's okay. I'm not a huge fan, but artificial watermelon is not that good. But yeah, I haven't practiced a lot of these things that they're talking about here. I haven't had a lot of cream-based liquors, but it makes sense. It's got cream in it, sugar that can grow bacterias. But
so that's one that I've actually thrown away before. I've actually thrown away cream liquors that I've had sitting around for too long. And if it's a cream liqueur, I will always open it up and take a sniff before I drink it. Because if it smells even a little off, I don't mess with that. If it smells a little off, down the sink it goes, or I'm mixing it with vodka to kill it all. One of the two.
Well, I don't know if they pasteurize it, but so if it's pasteurized, it will not harm you. You may want to vomit because the taste, but pasteurized products kill off any and all bacteria. Now, here's the kicker. If you drink out of the bottle, like you drink out of the jug of milk, your saliva goes back into that bottle. That then creates something, and then you do have the chance of getting sick. But if you have a carton of milk and you keep pouring it into a glass every time you want milk and you never drink out of the jug, when it gets 2 months past that sell-by date and it has gone sour, it's gone is sour. It's not going to kill you. Unless there's a contaminant that was introduced to the cap or to the side from your touching it or anything, your lips or whatever, your saliva, you're fine.
And if it does go sour, you make pancakes.
I've never done that with them.
You've never made buttermilk pancakes?
No, I actually haven't. Oh. Not real buttermilk pancakes, like the Bisquick mix, imitation,
No, it's literally, it's buttermilk is just sour milk. And you make, anytime we got milk that goes bad in the fridge, that's what we make is buttermilk pancakes. Or buttermilk biscuits.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I did something about a month ago. Keto pancake.
Been there, done that, picked it out of my braces. No. Now, you want to know something worse? I actually had my wife make a keto bread.
Ooh, yeah.
That face is exactly how it turned out. However, I want to point out one thing. If you take the bread, because it had 7 eggs in it. It was eggs, almond flour, and like baking powder or baking soda or something. It was really simple to make. And it came out, it looked like a loaf of bread. You cut it, it looks like a loaf of bread. It smells like an omelet. It tastes like a bad omelet. And I was like, I tried. I put cream cheese over it the first time, and I'm like, let me see how this goes. I ate like 3 pieces, heaping mounds of cream cheese on it. And after I was done, I was like, that is not good. I should not have requested this. But then I said, but here's the best part. This is how well my wife knows me. She looked at me and she says, what if you fry it up in some bacon fat?
Ooh.
And I went,
yeah,
that's an amazing idea. Well, what if I fry it up in some bacon fat? And I always have bacon fat because I have bacon all the time, and I save the fat because you can cook everything in that and it tastes better. And you find me something that you fry and fried in bacon fat and it'll be 10 times better. Like grilled cheese sandwich, fried in bacon's fat, be 10 times better. You make hot dogs, fried in bacon's fat. That hot dog will be the best hot dog you've ever had. You eat hamburgers, fried in bacon fat. Chicken, fried in bacon fat. Anything you want, fried in bacon fat. It will kill you.
Cholesterol!
Yeah, it will kill you. Like, you will die. And this is a guarantee. You will take years off of your life. But those years are at the end and they suck anyways. Okay? So I actually took this bread and I fried it up in bacon fat. It was so good. I did it every morning for breakfast until that bread was gone.
Nice. I tried so hard to salvage that keto dough. I did my damnedest. It's okay. So pancakes. If you don't know how to make anything, like let's say I can't cook, I know nothing about cooking. I can make mac and cheese and TV dinners, and that's it. Pancakes. Find yourself a good recipe online, and they're really simple. Baking soda, baking powder, sugar, flour, oil or butter, your choice, egg, and you just milk, and you mix that all together into a batter, and you've got pancake batter. You heat up a skillet or a griddle, and then you add the oil and you heat up the oil. It's always the important step is you need both a hot cooking surface and hot oil. And oil, don't do Pam. Never do Pam. Use oil. Canola, peanut. I don't recommend olive.
Bacon grease.
Or if you make bacon beforehand, then you can use the grease from that. I've always done my eggs in bacon grease and then my pancakes in oil. But that's one way to do things. So you add it in. like a third of a cup to make pancake decent size. And you need the hot surface so that the oil and that surface are hot, it'll slow the spread and it'll start to cook. And there's going to be bubbles, you see, all popping up all over the place. When those bubbles pop, all of them pop. You flip and never press because then you'll spread everything everywhere. But you flip and that surface will be cooked perfectly as long as you don't have an extremely high temperature and you didn't let those bubbles pop and then walked away for a while. Like as soon as they popped and you flipped them over, they will be perfect. These keto pancakes, my God.
Hold on.
Burn on one.
Let me guess. You kept cooking. Those bubbles came up, but they were never quite right. If you tried to flip it when you thought it was time, it went everywhere. There was just a mess, and it flopped all over the place.
Oh God, yeah. Like
it
burned
like, the hell out of it.
It would sear it, and then you'd have nothing but like loose pancake batter on the top as soon as you flipped it, and it just spread everywhere. And then I'd still have to flip it a second time because I got to cook the pancake batter in the center. It was just such a... And like I tried adding more water to thin it out.
Did you try xanthan gum?
Did I try what?
Xanthan gum. Okay.
No, I don't keep that handy in the cabinet.
Dude. Okay, so if you're going down the path of keto, everything that you cook with keto, because there's no binding agent in a lot of the flour, like almond flour, coconut flour, there's no binding agent in there. So because there's no binding agent, it doesn't stick together very well. If you put in a little bit of xanthan gum, it will stick and hold its shape like normal flour does. A little bit better. Not perfectly, but a little bit better. And then you can actually get that flip, and the batter the batter's not like a liquid runny diarrhea mess. It actually has some like consistency, and you can flip it.
I will remember that if I ever decide to go keto again. But the other problem with these damn keto pancakes is the taste. It is...
Did you use coconut flour, almond flour?
No. Okay, so it was what do they call it? Bending birches. I believe that's the name. So birch trees, apparently you bend them and then you can fling yourself or whatever, but they'll go back to being upright. They won't snap or whatever. They're very pliable. It's a very pliable wood or tree.
Did you make your pancakes out of trees?
No, I made it from a batch. Whew. There was a pre-selled. It was a pancake mix batch. A bag. So yeah, I think it was called Bending Birches, but it had coconut in it. You could taste it. It wasn't like suspiciously you could see it, but the taste just isn't there. It could have used a little bit of brown sugar and cinnamon in it to kind of help sweeten it up a little bit. It needed a little bit of that.
So here's the trick.
But it definitely needed a binder.
So here's the trick. Don't use any of those pre-mixed keto crap because they are literally the worst. I mean, absolutely 100% the worst. If they don't...
This is a bad experience.
If they don't taste like cardboard, they taste like the underside of a shoe. And not one of those like, oh, it's a brand new shoe. It kind of tastes like leather. No, this is something that like Mama June's been walking around in for the past decade and decided finally to throw it out. And you picked it up and used it as a pancake batter. Like that's what they taste like.
What does Miss Mama June taste like?
Like two hobos fucking in a shoe. I can go on forever. Just, that's not the point. No, I'm telling you. I've got a couple of recipes, and I found that if you like the sweeter pancakes, use just straight coconut flour. If you want them to be a little bit less sweet, but still have like a consistency to them, the only thing about all keto stuff that I found is that if a gritty texture is something that really turns you off, you're never going to like anything. You got to get past that gritty texture because almond flour, coconut flour, it's not like regular flour, where regular flour binds together and it smooths out and gives you that really smooth texture. Almond flour, like almond flour specifically, has a very gritty texture to it. But if you can get past that, you can pretty much get past anything.
Okay, so thinking out loud here, is it a gritty texture as a flour?
Yeah.
As a powderized grain, and is it just it clumps into gritty texture?
No.
When you
It's
mix it.
No. It's just the way that it is, the way that it mixes and cooks. It's got a much grittier texture because it's nuts, like coconut or almond. It's a almond flour. It's a nut. It's made from a nut. It's not made from a plant. It's not made from the soft part of the plant. It's made from the hard part. So it has a gritty texture to it just on its own. I've made keto cookies. I've made keto pancakes, keto bread. I've made all of this stuff, and it's all got a gritty texture. And my wife hates it because she's like, "Oh, it's got this gritty texture. I don't like it." Like, well, yeah, but I can get past the gritty texture because it's got all the other flavor that I'm looking for. Like, if I'm looking for sweet, it's sweet. If it's that that doughy flavor, it's got that doughy flavor to it. It's just also got a gritty texture to it.
Yeah. And is this stuff like gluten-free?
Typically.
Okay.
Yes, gluten you find in like wheat and stuff like that.
All right. Yeah, because my mom's been trying to avoid gluten because of some like stomach issues she's been having. So
well, good for her.
I'm trying to think of ways to like how I could like do like baking things for her, and I guess I'll try experimenting with this.
Well, I've got a great recipe for chocolate chip cookies that uses almond flour. It's almond flour, xanthan gum. Actually, I'll grab the recipe for you. It's actually a really great recipe. It uses all sugar-free stuff. It doesn't. So, if you're hoping it's going to taste like Chips Ahoy, it doesn't taste like Chips Ahoy. It doesn't. Okay. It doesn't taste like an Auntie Anne's cookie pretzel thing, whatever. It doesn't taste like one of those like soft cookies that you get from Girl Scouts or something. It's nothing like that. It tastes, it's not Pillsbury Doughboy over here. It's a low carb cookie, so it's got a lot of it's got sweetness to it, but it's got that texture of like a soft cookie with a grittiness, and that's the only thing is that's that grittiness that I keep talking about.
Okay,
but if you're looking for that sweetness, like me, I'm a sweet guy. I love sweet. Now every now and then I'll switch over to salty, but I love sweet.
Yeah, I'm all for that. But anyway, moving away from the science of baking here, let's talk about the Nintendo Switch.
Can you bake with it?
Can't I think there's a game.
Cooking Mama. You're right. You can. I love it.
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to think of there. I was like, Slangel played this game. What was this game that Slangel played? There you go. Cooking Mama. So they have, and obviously they haven't sold a lot of the during this COVID-19 because they've been a hard time getting them manufactured and also getting them shipped. But they have sold 55.77 million units worldwide, with the NES hardware selling 61.91 million units worldwide, and the Wii, which I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think the Wii was that popular. Oh, no, it was the Wii U I'm thinking of. Yeah, the Wii U is the low one. But
Wii was crazy.
They sold 101.63 million units. That was a hardware. The software sale, I guess, is games.
Yeah,
they've sold.
Yeah, it'd be software. Would be any game or Wii Fit, stuff like that.
Yeah, but they have. God, they've been doing pretty damn good from 21.03 million sales from April 1st of last year to the end of March of this year. They're up by an impressive 24% year on year. So the Switch is doing good. I mean, when the Switch first came out, I don't think they were doing that great. Even with Zelda and all that other stuff. I think Animal Crossing has helped them out a lot. Because I don't know, it may just because people are more vocal about this, but I've been hearing a lot of people, Animal Crossing. my God, there's another podcast that was created because of Animal Crossing. Like, there's just my friends that don't even play video games have gotten the Switch to play Animal Crossing. So it's becoming a contender, which makes me happy because I remember Nintendo used to be around a lot. It was like Nintendo, PlayStation, and Sega, and then it was Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, and then it was PlayStation and Xbox.
Well, let's give some other quick numbers here just for comparison. Not to diminish the Nintendo Switch, because I love the Nintendo Switch. I have one. I'm staring at mine right now. I think it's a fantastic console.
You finally got one?
Oh, I've had one I've had one since Christmas. Actually, since before Christmas, yeah.
What do you play on there?
Stardew Valley, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Starlink, mostly with myself. Oh, that sounded wrong. No, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been playing much of it lately, but just to give some quick numbers, just so that you've got kind of you've got a perspective here. So we were talking about Nintendo Switch sales at 55.77 million units sold, and this was sent out yesterday at 4 a.m. So May 7th at 4 a.m. This one came out. So just give some perspective. I'm looking at an article that was pushed out back in January of 2020. So it's a little old, but we're looking at ballpark numbers here anyways. So the top selling console. What do you think it is, Blue? Top selling of all time, like best selling console, the top.
Let's see if I channel what vitamins that come out of a banana tell me with some oxygen and some hydrogen. PC?
Well, that's not technically a console, but we're just gonna ignore those people. Yeah,
then. Right,
technically, PCs have sold way more than any console ever made. You could probably combine them all together, and PCs have still sold more.
Yeah, but how many people have bought PCs explicitly for such things?
Well, I mean, if you're counting me, I probably topped the Wii U easily by myself. I mean,
yeah. So I would have to say that, given PlayStation 4's success, I'd have to say PlayStation.
But which one?
PlayStation 4.
Actually, that's number 4 on the list.
Okay.
But you are right with PlayStation. The top-selling console, PlayStation 2, at 159 million units sold.
Damn.
Next one underneath that? You want to take a stab?
159 million units underneath that. PlayStation.
Nope. Nintendo DS. And you know what? I'm thinking about it. I've had 3 different DSs. My daughter's had a DS. I think my wife even had a DS. So I'm looking at that going, yeah, that's probably right.
Are we lumping together the DS, the 2DS, 3DS, the new 2DS, the new 3DS?
No. So the DSs. So maybe the extra, the new versions of the DS still count, but the 3DS is its own line item, and that's actually way farther down the line. That's at 75 million units sold. That's just above the NES. Yeah. But I thought that was like, I mean, I've always said that I've been a Sony fanboy. But honestly, I buy Sony because I've just bought Sony forever. I have an Xbox. I've actually had an Xbox ever since. The only one I never had was, I think, the 360. And that was mostly because I didn't like the interface of the 360. Everybody said that they loved it. I hated it, and that's why I didn't get it. But I have an Xbox One. I have a PlayStation. I have a Switch. I've had all the PlayStations up on through. I've had a Nintendo 3DS. I've had a NES Super Nintendo. I've had an N64. I've had a Wii. I didn't get a Wii U because, well, yeah, Wii U kind of sucked.
What was the purpose of that?
The Wii U?
The Wii U?
I think it was to bridge the gap between the Wii and the Switch. It was kind of like the Wii and the Switch got together and had a love child and spit out the Elephant Man.
Was it, you could only play games on the Wii U that would never work on the Wii?
You know what?
Was it a new generation of console, or was it just like the Xbox One X?
No, I think
versus the Xbox One.
I don't think the Wii U could play Wii games. I think the Wii U played Wii U games. But I am not. But I'm going to be perfectly honest right now. If you're listening and going, "You're wrong," I played this. I'm probably am wrong.
If you're wrong, email us. Tell us.
Yeah, Come, tell me, please, tell me, or sign into the Discord and rip me a new one. I don't care. But I think the Wii U could only play Wii U games. I don't think it could play Wii games. I don't think it was backward compatible. Because Nintendo hasn't really been big on backward compatibility. Like, the Wii had backward compatibility to GameCube, but that was really it. Like, the Wii U, I don't think was backward compatible to anything. The Switch isn't backward compatible. The 3DS had backward compatibility to the DS. So there's been a little backward compatibility there, but not like where PlayStation came out and the PlayStation 3 could play anything from PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 3. Granted, I'm saying that when it came out, I know full well when they started trying to cut costs and stuff, they took out those emulation chips and stuff. I know that.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm checking our email to see if anyone had ever did email us, and once again, no, we have nothing.
Did the Arabian Prince email again? Because they still want me to send the money.
Someone keeps telling us that we need to fix our website. I don't know why.
Oh, well, I think we got to actually maintain it.
Yeah, that would help. But it's a milestone. We'll see. This is a big year, I think, for Xbox and PlayStation. Because I believe this is the year that they're going to be coming out with their new consoles. At least Xbox, I believe, is coming out with a new one this year. And someone over at CNET is talking about how Microsoft has learned from their last mistakes they made in the console war, when they did the Xbox One versus PlayStation 4. Maybe. I'm sorry. I love Xbox. But I don't know. I think Xbox had a lot of innovation. They had a lot of different ideas. I think, being the console that sold with a motion sensing device was pretty cool. But at the end of the day, guess what I use mine for? That's right, folks. Not to talk to my console, because I get tired of her mistaking other things for hey, Xbox, turn off. Or hey, Cortana, turn off, or some crap like that. She's now used solely for the purpose of picking up my Xbox remote. Like, I have a remote control for my Xbox, and I need my Kinect to be hooked up to my Xbox because it picks up the infrared signal to turn my volume up and down, change the channel, go to the next show on Netflix or whatever streaming service I'm using at the time. That's all it is. And, but, the PlayStation 4 had it better. Had the games. They had, I think in some ways they kind of had the graphics. But Xbox has come a long way since, I think, their first release of the Xbox One, with picking up other studios, creating some newer games. So it's not just Halo and Gears anymore. It's a little bit more than that. But I don't know, Cecil, what do you think?
Dude, I honestly, I can't badmouth Xbox at all. I can't badmouth Microsoft. Did they screw up a little bit on launch of this generation? They did. But you know what? Sony did the same thing on the last iteration. They came out with all these grandiose ideas and completely screwed the pooch and literally handed it right to Microsoft. They even wrapped it up and put a bow on it and said, here you go. This generation's yours. But Xbox has come out with such an amazing amount of innovation, and such great ideas. So some they sold for PlayStation, like the free game thing during, for having Xbox Live, giving away a few games each month. Okay, look, let's be honest, that PlayStation did it and you liked it and you realized it was working and you stole it and it worked. I don't care. As a consumer, it works out for me. I get free games. I love it. That's fantastic. They came out with the Xbox Game Pass, and I know that PlayStation tried to do something similar to that with their, I think it was PlayStation
Plus, I believe.
No, it was PlayStation Now, where you would sign into the service and you would have a whole bunch of access to different games just through that service. I think Xbox has really done it right. They've literally given away the farm on this one, because all you had to do when they were first rolling this out was pay like $2 or $3, and for the life of whatever you had for your Xbox Live, you had Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So I just extended my Xbox Live out. Now, it was genius, to be perfectly honest, because I extended my Xbox Live account out as far as it would go, like 3 years. So I've got Xbox Live until like 2022, and I've got Xbox Game Pass with it.
Nice.
And it's a fantastic idea because it's basically what PlayStation was trying to do, only they did it better. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who did that, because I stole that idea from Langell. Langell said to do it, and I went, that's amazing. I am doing that. And I did it. And you know what? If I did it, if Langell did it, I'm pretty confident there was a bunch of other people who did it. So for Microsoft, that was an amazing move. And knowing that people were going to extend that out into the start of the new console, because that new console is going to come out within that 3 years, even with this whole COVID-19 bullshit, that console's coming out. So it means that I've got my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. It's going to leak over into the new console, which is going to, I mean, to be perfectly honest, this might be the generation where I go Microsoft over Sony for the first time.
Wow.
This actually might be that generation, because Microsoft has set up, they've done so many great innovations. They've set themselves up to really get the customer, like they've really nailed down the customer. So I'm looking at it now where I'm going, well, if I go with the PlayStation, if I go get the new PlayStation, that's great. I'll be able to play all the new PlayStation games. And you are right. PlayStation has nailed a lot of the exclusives. Like, there's some really great exclusives came out for PlayStation. And Microsoft, they got some really great ones, but I think Sony,
they're trying.
I still think Sony got more. Just, being flat out honest. I think Sony got more. But even with that, I still think that Microsoft, like, I'm really on the fence right now on where I'm going to go next generation. And I've never been that way. I have never in my life of video gaming been on the fence of what I'm getting next generation. I've always known. Like, when Nintendo came out, I knew I was going to be getting Super Nintendo. Even though I heard all the great things about Genesis and Sega, I knew I was going to get a Super Nintendo. When PlayStation came out, as soon as I got a PlayStation, I knew next generation, whatever Sega was rolling out with, whatever Nintendo was rolling out with, I was going to be buying Sony first. Then when Microsoft came out, I loved the original Xbox, but I still knew I was going to be getting a PlayStation, just from everything that I read about it. I knew I was going with the PlayStation next. When PlayStation 4 came out, I knew I was going with PlayStation over Xbox because of how Sony was attacking it. I knew that they were going to come out literally swinging hard. And they did. They came out swinging hard. But this generation, I'm literally I literally don't know what I'm going to get. And it's, for the first time ever, it's a great position, because I really feel like there's an equilibrium happening between the major players. Nintendo's doing their own thing, and I love Nintendo, because Nintendo is always going to do their own thing, and they've said that.
Yes.
They've always said, we are making the console we want to make. To hell with whoever, to hell with anybody else. We're making the console that we want to make. And they've stuck to that, and they have my respect, and I will always get a Nintendo console. Like, it may not be first round, but I'm getting a Nintendo console. It's guaranteed. Hell, I've got 2 Switches in the house. That just goes to tell you, I only have 1 PlayStation. Sorry.
I've got a lot of Switches in the house. There's one over there. There's one over there.
I have 2 Nintendo Switches in the house, but I only have one. I only have one PlayStation 4.
Sorry.
I only have 1 Xbox One. I've got my PS3 in the front room because, well, I just never got rid of it. But on this generation,
it's your media streamer, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I play Netflix, Hulu, everything else from that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But But like, I only have one of each of those current generations for Microsoft and Sony, but I have 2 Switches in this house. Like, that just goes to tell you that Nintendo's doing something right.
Oh God, yes. They're of all ages. I think if you want high graphics, high quality gaming in a competitive multiplayer environment, or in a really powerful graphics, story-driven single RPG,
PC.
you go PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. I think Nintendo's got some cool stuff, but Nintendo has always been everyone can pick it up and play.
Oh yeah.
Everyone can make it work. It's Xbox is the gamer and the gamer only. PlayStation is the gamer and the gamer only. PC is the professional, the students, the housewife, the family that has to do high school or middle school based reports, or the gamer.
Yeah, see, like, hands down, and I'll probably say this until Sony really steps up their game. The one place that Sony really lacks, online multiplayer. Xbox, hands down, I think has got online multiplayer still, and I've been saying it ever since the original Xbox came out. I still think that Microsoft has got the online presence, and they've nailed it right. And with this Game Pass, like, that's the thing that really really grips me about it, is that with their Game Pass, not only are they giving you Xbox games that you can play on Xbox, but you're also getting games that you can play on PC. Like, I was playing Other Worlds.
Yeah.
And that's part of the Game Pass. I paid for the Game Pass. I'm going to be able to play that until 2022.
And it's play anywhere, so you can bounce between.
And that's the thing that blows my mind, is that I was playing Sea of Thieves on my computer with a whole bunch of people. And then I was saying, you know what? My PC's doing some rendering. I can't play, but I still want to play Sea of Thieves. So I jumped over to my Xbox, and there I'm playing Sea of Thieves as my pirate that I've been playing on my PC this whole time. It blows my mind that
and that's where they get you.
But that we're finally getting there. This is some place that we were able to get a decade ago, and because everybody was still doing the whole console war thing, that we couldn't get there. Sony was being, and I'm pointing at you, Sony. If you're listening, if anybody from Sony is listening, I'm pointing at you. You're the assholes that are saying, no, we're not going to be those guys. We're not going to open the doors. When everybody else is going, fuck it, do it. I don't care. Go, do it. You got the lawyers in there going, well, licensing doesn't work that way because we got to work around this. And other people are just going, fuck it. Let them play. Go ahead. Guys from Rocket League, I don't care. Let them play. What, do they want to be on PC, Xbox, whatever? Let them play. Let them play together. Even Warzone. Yeah. Warzone. I like, that's awesome. Warzone, you play it? You can play PlayStation, Xbox, or PC all together.
Yes. The only problem is that you get cheaters in PC. There's no like anti-cheating software, but that's just because it's a free game. But
you get like cheaters. Cheaters are cheaters, man. You're going to get cheaters everywhere. And it's just like
I hold someone who hacks a console.
Yeah, and it's just like when I hold my D&D games, I say, look, you play however it is that makes it fun for you. I don't care. The only time I'm going to intervene is if you're making it not fun for everybody else. Cheaters eventually get found out, and they get whittled out, and then they get notoriety of, hey, you're a cheater, and then nobody plays with them, and that's just it.
I did not ask how big the room is. I said I cast Fireball.
Yep. Yeah, I know exactly the type of player you are. You are the reason why I have a critical fumble table.
Yeah, right?
Uh-huh. How's that truly going down there?
But that's failed you before, hasn't it? I mean, I've been drinking. Haven't been drinking enough, but I've been drinking. So
the critical fumble table has failed me? No, it's never failed me. It's failed everybody else.
Trying to kill. Okay, whatever. Trying to kill someone off and it doesn't work.
Oh no, that's where I'm playing a friggin' game that's literally designed to kill everybody, and I can't kill you. Like, I physically am trying to kill you, and I can't kill you. That wasn't the fumble table. That was because I rolled like shit.
Okay. Well, I have to say that I used to be, it's the console war, Xbox is greater than PlayStation. I don't give shits at this point. I really don't care. I am never going to go buy a PlayStation if the group of friends that I play with that are really close to me play on Xbox. That is why I bought the Xbox. I never bought the Xbox because it was the best. My friends played Xbox, so my friends were playing Halo, so I want an Xbox, I want Halo. So I played that. And then because I got stuck into that, I met friends that played on Xbox through college, completely outside of the gaming realm. And it's just like, that's what we're going to play. We're going to play Xbox. So I continued down this Xbox path because I like some of the Xbox games. Like PlayStation has some beautiful, really great exclusive. Horizon Zero Dawn. I love The Last of Us. What was it? God, it's this futuristic game. What's it called? They made a series out of it. Killzone. Killzone was cool. If you ask me. Yeah, we've got Halo, Gears of War on Xbox, but Xbox never really had the really awesome stories as an exclusive. And they're trying, and that's fine. But you know what Xbox has done great is everything you touched on. The service of this subscription, this thing, I'm playing on my PC, but then I need to edit the episode. So I got my Xbox over here. So let me play on my Xbox and edit the episode on my PC. Don't need two screens for that shit because PC can be editing, TV and console play the game. You can do that, and it doesn't matter bouncing in between the two. And I liked the fact that they were like, "Hey, yeah, let's do crossplay." And I think they've also broken down the walls of fuck you PlayStation, fuck you Xbox. It's now like they're kind of like, "Hey, best of luck at E3." They're not. It's not this grunge match anymore. It's just they're trying to one up each other because they're business. But as long as Xbox keeps doing this and PlayStation keeps doing what they're doing good, no one loses. We win. Because at the end of the day, Xbox is going to go, well, PlayStation's got better exclusives than we do. So we need better exclusives. So let's start buying studios. Let's start making this really cool stuff. Let's make things awesome. It's great. PlayStation is going to look at Xbox's services and go, well, we need to do something like that or else we're never going to be able to compete. We need to up our online platform if we're going to, top that. And at the end of the day, I think at this point, either it's wisdom or it's just the way things are changing. It's just gotten to a point where we're benefiting as the consumer because they're going back and forth trying to up one another. Nintendo, we kind of lose because Nintendo's only going to do what Nintendo wants to do. Nintendo's like sitting at the boardroom, looking outside the room, going, don't care, we're going to do what we're going to do. They still make their consumers happy because people love it. I've never had a bad experience with Nintendo, per se. Maybe some people have some bad experiences. Wii U, I don't know. Never played it. Never really owned it. Never owned a Wii U. I went from GameCube to Switch for my console ownership. Only because Xbox had what I needed. Social gaming. And, as long as the two Xbox and 360 and Xbox and PlayStation keep going at each other, we're going to keep winning. And that's all I'm happy about at this point. I don't care if they win at if they win at the end of the year with this competition or not. I just want to see them continue to make these great decisions that they get me looking at stuff like Game Pass and going, you know what? I kind of like that. But then I go, I kind of don't play enough to make that a justified purchase. So let's not. But, having free-to-play days, like a free-to-play weekend to play the Gears 5 after being out for 2 months, getting to play the campaign, not, go play multiplayer for free this weekend. No, I could play multiplayer. I could play anything I wanted. Did the campaign. Love stories. That's what I want to do, what I want to see. But, and they continue to add that stuff to it. But I think we're in a good place right now. And as long as Xbox continues to see what PlayStation does wrong, and what PlayStation continues to see what Xbox does wrong, and trying to always do better than the other, or do better than what they did before, I think we're all are going to just keep doing great. Cecil?
You touched on something that is actually really, really important, because it was kind of that equilibrium that I was talking about. And it's not so much, it's the conversation I had with my daughter, because my daughter, a couple of years back, she wanted a gaming console. And because I was always playing on PlayStation 4, she said she wanted a PlayStation 4. And I said, well, honey, I'm flattered that you want to get a PlayStation 4 to play with me. I said, but I'm your dad. Eventually you're going to not want to play games with me. I said, so what are your friends playing? And she looked at me kind of like a little cross-eyed. And I said, well, whatever your friends are playing, that's where you're going to want to be, because if you get a PlayStation 4 and all your friends have Xbox, then you're not going to have any fun, because you're always going to pine for an Xbox. When your friends are playing, you won't be able to play with them. I said, so ask around, see what your friends have, and why don't you get what your friends have? And she thought about it over the night, and she said, okay. And she actually went and talked to all of her friends and found out that they all had Switches. And that's what she wanted. And I said, and I think it's a good decision, dude, because that's what your friends have. Now, eventually I went and got a Switch because I saw how badass the Switch was, and I'm like, well, shit, she can't have it and not me. So I went out and got a Switch. But that was the same thing that you hit on. And I think it's because of that equilibrium that we're starting to hit, where, you know, Microsoft and Sony, they really are. They're trying to one-up each other. And each time one of them do something good, the other one is picking up on it. Just like you said, they're picking up on it and saying, oh, well, they're doing this. I think we can do it better. Let's do it on our side. And I mean, to be honest, there are some things, as I said before, about like the free games each month. That was something that Sony was doing that Microsoft looked at and said, well, geez, that's a great idea. We should do that. I think Microsoft took it a step further with the Game Pass, because they looked at what Sony did with PlayStation Now and realized that that wasn't quite it. And I think they took it a step further with Game Pass and really knocked it out of the park. I mean, right now, if you've got Game Pass, you can play the Halo Master Chief Collection, State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, and those are just 3 games. There's a bunch more on there, but those are 3 games across a wide breadth of genres. Like that's not 3 games out of the same genre that you're staring at. That's a very wide breadth right there. Yes,
and truly they've done a great job.
You missed one Truly. There's 3 Trulies there. You got the Truly, Truly, Truly. No, I really I'm excited to see what Xbox is coming out with, because I really am. I've been looking really hard at what Microsoft is doing. And not to downplay Sony. I think Sony's like got a really hard hitting one, but I really think these next couple of months, maybe next like 3 to 5 months are going to be really, really important, because the information. Now, I don't go by leaks, like, and Daymok releases them and Daymok talks about them, and I love him for it, because he does what I can't. I take a look at a leak and I immediately argue myself out of believing that in any way, shape, or form. Daymok doesn't do that, and he gives you a lot more information and a lot better opinion on that than I ever could, and I love him for it, because
time with Daymok.
Exactly, and I'll listen to some of the things he says about the leaks. Like, I will purposely not read the leak, and I'll listen to what he says about it, and I'll listen to his opinion about it, and that will help me get past that hurdle of this is a leak. That'll give me a little bit of hope for, well, if they really are shooting for that, even if they don't hit that, even close to that is pretty good. And that's what I really enjoy about listening to Daymok, really dig into one of these leaks that I just can't do if I read the leak myself.
And hopefully, as we get closer to, it was going to be, E3 was going to be in June. I have no idea what they're going to do. I mean, I originally heard that PlayStation wasn't going to do E3 anymore. They were, we're done. We're not doing E3 anymore. We're going to do our own thing. which I kind of thought was sad. I mean, I get it. It's not a conference you control. It's, it's the top 3 major electronic, art studios. But at the same time, it was always nice to see PlayStation come and talk about stuff. And Microsoft come and talk about stuff. And then the other developers come and talk about their... But since this whole COVID-19 thing, I don't know if they're even going to have that this year. But hopefully we're going to start hearing some confirmed things from both sides in response to Xbox is doing this. What's PlayStation going to say? What are they officially going to say they're going to do? Because I know it took them a while, and Xbox is like, yeah, we'd love to do crossplay. And then PlayStation finally said, sure, we'll do crossplay.
Yeah, they did get dragged kicking and screaming because PlayStation... So, like, Nintendo was always that really close proprietary company where they're like, well, no, we like our stuff. We don't like mingling with others. And then even Nintendo was stretching out, and Sony was doing that. No, we're not mingling with others. This is our group. This is our thing. And I think Sony finally started to realize there's a market here. We're not keeping customers this way. We're not gaining more sales. We're actually excluding people, because when somebody can play Paladins on an Xbox, on a Nintendo Switch, and on a PC, and all of those accounts can link together, but if I jump on my Sony, it doesn't. And they started realizing that people just stopped playing Paladins on Sony. Like, there was a group of people that just said, screw it, I can go play on any one of these platforms, and all my gear and all my stuff goes along with it. I mean, to be perfectly honest, like, just thinking of Paladins, that's why I stopped playing Paladins on PS4. I started on PS4, and then once I realized that Xbox, Switch, and PC could all mingle together, I went, well, fuck, why am I going to play PlayStation when I've got to redo everything on PlayStation just to play with people? Like,
yep.
And I think they finally cottoned on.
Yeah, and I'm glad, because at the end of the day, we win. It's still... PlayStation is still always going to have The Last of Us. Can't be cross-play if no one else is producing it. If Nintendo, you can't play it on a Nintendo, and you can't play it on an Xbox and a PC, then you're going to have to get a PlayStation for that game. But having that cross-play between consoles, I think, is a really, really great idea. I'm still kind of hesitant about cross-play between console and PC, because I don't think it's fair across the two, because there's some advantages that one side gets to the other. If they don't have anti-cheating software, it's easier to cheat on a PC than I think it is on an Xbox, because there's nothing that says that what I do with my PC to make it work as far as cheating on a game doesn't void my warranty like hacking my Xbox does. Hacking my Xbox would. That's, cheating is one thing. I guess if you have those morals against that, then you're not going to do it. But if you're like, well, wishy-washy, but like, I don't want to void my warranty on my console because that kind of shoots me in the foot, then you won't hack your console. So... Dude,
cheaters are cheaters. If a cheater wants to cheat, they don't care about a warranty on their console. They're gonna hack it. They're gonna put on those extra things.
Yeah, but it's like putting a deadbolt. Deadbolt keeps out an honest person, and it makes it harder for a thief to get in. Having a deadbolt keeps an honest person out.
That's the only thing it does.
It doesn't make it any different.
It doesn't make any difference to a thief. It's the same thing I say when people put firewalls and virus protection and all this crap on their machine.
That's the thing.
It's a deterrent.
It's the thing.
It doesn't actually keep them out. If they want to get in, they're going to get in.
Yes, but voiding a warranty on something is an added deterrent to keep a cheater from cheating on a console.
But if a person wants to cheat, warranty's not going to stop.
They're going to do it.
That's just my point. Is that like cheating on a PC?
But if they're starting to,
it's just more.
But if they're young and they're experimenting and they're a little curious about something,
and then they find out they're gay,
might get it. Let's not go down that path.
I mean, I'm okay with
right,
that. I don't. If they're experimenting, I don't mind. Let them do it. Hey, it's the same thing I say about religion. I don't care what you believe as long as you don't make me believe it. If you want to stick your dick in his ass, I'm fine with it. Just don't ask to stick your dick in mine. We're cool then. I don't mind what you do. Hell, if you want help or something, like you need me to go grab condoms for you, I'll run to the store for you, dude. I got your back. You need another brewski? I got you, man. I'll go to the fridge.
Well, Cecil, I think we're getting long in the tooth. So why don't you tell the lovely people where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cecil vs. Games, and almost everywhere else as Cecil Xavier. You can find me on Ustream, Twitch, Mixer, all the great places. Discord. I'm on Discord as well. If I'm not someplace, you let me know. I'll go there. What about you, Blue? Where can people find you at?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me, on the G.N.A. Discord. And you can find me also on other Discords such as TPC, Bullets and Beer, Mulehorn Gaming, and the Enabler Sisters. I think I got that name right. If you're into things such as Animal Crossing. And you can also find me on Twitter at BlueShark45. And if you want to play games with me, hit me up on the G.N.A. Discord. And I will see if I have enough time in my busy schedule. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the G.N.A. podcast. And Cecil, thank you for hopping in and making this show a little less awkward, where I don't have to sit here and talk to myself the entire time.
Dude, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. It takes so much to talk for 45 minutes when you've got no one to bounce off of.
Yeah, I didn't have a stack of penthouse foreign letters to work with.
Well, I can tell you that was a decent episode, but I'll never do it again.
And I don't think I would want to ask you to do it again either.
God, there's so much cringe. So much cringe on that episode.
Yes. Well, you all have a lovely evening. Good night.
Good night, man. We hope you enjoyed the show. G.N.A. Games, Nerds, and Alcohol. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show, so if you enjoy listening to us, let other people know. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Podcast Addict, Player FM, Stitcher, Spreaker, MyTuner, Your Listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and a whole bunch of other places. If we aren't someplace, let us know. We'll upload there.
You can also follow us on Twitter or Facebook by searching at G.N.A. Podcast. You can also join our Discord chat. Just see the pinned tweet.
We do a game show night every first Saturday of every month on Mixer at www.mixer.com/G.N.A. podcast.
Join us every Wednesday night at 19:30 Eastern Time on cast.gg for Anime Night, hosted by BlueShark45.
And join us every second Saturday of the month for Horror Movie Night, hosted by Zyberblood.
We want to thank Morgan BS Photography for our artwork and logo. Check him out at morganbs.com.
And please email us at GNApodcast@GNAinyourdNA.1 with all your questions, comments, or death threats. We would love to hear from you. And last but not least, please be sure to check out our website at www.GNApodcast.com.
I need to take a look.
No, bring it,
No,
motherfucker. No, I don't think anybody's that much of an alcoholic on this show.